And hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Exceptional Experience in ECAC podcast. I'm your host, Billy Pickens, and I'm my good friend and host, Maya Warren here. And this podcast is brought to you by ECAC, where we empower families and improve lives. Maya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Excited for another guest today, Billy. Long time.
Well, that's right. Maya spoiled it, but that's great. So, as Maya mentioned, we have ourselves a special guest, and you all, I think, have been loving the guest episode. So, we have another one of our amazing youth advisory team members on. Someone I've come to know and call a friend. His name is John. John, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Billy. How about
Oh, that's
you?
great. I'm glad to hear that. So, John, if you don't mind, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do and whatever you want to share.
Okay, my name is Johnathan Richardson. I'm 17 years old. I am a senior at Hollowassas Travel School, and I have autism and ADHD. Things I like to do are play video games. Um, I am a fan of Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and anime, and this year, I'm graduating and I am currently taking welding at Nash Tech Community College. And after I finish school, I plan on taking woodworking and blacksmithing classes.
That's awesome. So, you mentioned you have a love for video games and Star Wars and Marvel. You don't mind what got you into a lot of that anime and whatnot.
Um, yes, what got me into those is that I've seen people watching anime and they've become popular in the United States, and I've seen people um, competing in esports tournaments, and and gaming has become um, popular, and still today, older game consoles are sold like at store retro gaming stores and pawn shops, and I've decided to collect them um because some of my family members, like my dad and my uncle, had had them when they were younger, but ever since they gave them away or they're broken. And I think that broken game consoles shouldn't be thrown shouldn't be thrown away, and therefore they can be repaired.
hmm That's a good point. Thank you for
Um,
sharing that, John. I also share a love of gaming, probably not as much as you. But do you mind kind of talking about how gaming helps you navigate autism and ADHD?
um, it, sure. It helps me at it helps me navigate my autism and ADHD by controlling my anger, um um clearing some of my thoughts from my head,
hmm
and um um socializing with others. For example, Fortnite, I socialize with some people, I'm not sure. I do not know their names, but I still befriend make friends with them, and we would play together at times.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's cool. It
and
sounds like gaming helps you have community in a sense.
Yeah.
right,
And I love what you said there because while I'm not much of a gamer myself, I have a lot of friends who are, and a lot of friends in the disability community who are gamers that I know, and that's one thing they say is that one thing for them, it helps them connect with others, and it's amazing how universal it is in the sense that you can be someone gaming in the US and connect with someone in Germany or China or somewhere on the whole other side of the world and really be exposed to different cultures and different lifestyles and whatnot. And so, even though I'm not a gamer myself, I very much respect that and think that that's really awesome that you're able to do that. um, so you mentioned being a gamer and whatnot. What are some of the challenges that you faced as a person with a disability in the gaming community?
okay. Um, Challenges that I face are when I played Fortnite. I heard some people saying that I was bad, but I was not. Actually, I'm very good at Fortnite, and I try to ignore them and just continue playing the game, even though they're saying names that I did not like.
So it sounds like some of the challenges are connecting with people who might not necessarily understand your skill level and maybe, you having autism.
Yeah,
Yeah, people and I find that people are interesting, and I have this saying, it's like people be peopling because people are just ignorant sometimes. Some people are just mean to be mean, especially in like the gaming world. And then you have cool people. But I think that's true everywhere. You have your antagonists in every sphere of life, whether it be at school, people who don't get it, whether it be in your neighborhood, wherever it is, you will find people who don't necessarily understand or get it. My question to you, because I heard you mention, John, that you're taking a welding course. Like, can you
correct.
talk about how you got started into welding?
Sure. How did I get started into welding? Okay, so I've been I took welding because I wanted to repair and create things out of metal. For example, like you can create a table, and what you can create a welding cart and many others with metal.
Mm, that's really cool. Do you feel like welding has become an outlet for you, something that relieves stress and kind of makes you happy?
Actually, yes, it does. Because um I'm doing a hobby actually, and that doing welding helps calms me down, and it helps me control my anger.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, going. I love that, and going back to what Maya was saying. I think earlier about. I love what you said, Maya. People be peopling, also. And going back to what you were saying about some people, not just in the game community, but I think in general as well. I think some people say bad things about people because they think that they're being competitive, especially when playing a game, but realize maybe they're being hurtful.
Or,
And so, being that you face those challenges and you may touch on it a bit, what would be some of your advice? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there in and out of the disability community who encounter those kinds of people that are hurtful and say harmful things. What would be your advice to those people in terms of being able to overcome that and realize that they're bigger than what people might be saying about them?
I would say do not let the person get to you. You are better than than the person. You are better. You are better than the person, and and even though the person might be maybe mean and unfriendly, but there are people who are nice to you, and they're friendly, and try to ignore the person actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's good advice. And it sounds like you're saying don't focus so much on the negative people, focus on the positive people. And
Correct.
yeah. And I think that's a good point. What about you, Billy?
I completely agree with that. And I think that can be difficult to do sometimes. And I think that and I've heard this saying before, um, of like there's certain rules. So you might have three people that don't like you, three people that love you, and four people that are kind of in the middle. So sometimes, and so just remember that just because people, I tell people this all the time, especially I think on the internet, things can get very toxic. And I tell people all the time, like, don't trust people behind their phone screens. The same people that can be mean and angry behind a phone screen could be really nice in person.
Yeah.
Some people have these little personas they come up with, and that's one of the conversations for another day. But um, speaking of positive people in your life, who are some people that have inspired you? Whether it be people people you've heard of, that kind of inspire you to be who you are.
And they can be fictional
Yeah, they can
as
be
well,
fictional,
or
non-fiction.
real.
Yeah, it can be an anime character, anything.
Okay. Who has inspired me? Um. Okay, so people who are inspire me are actually fictional,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say Spider-Man and Star Wars characters like
Mm-hmm.
Yoda actually.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Why does Spider-Man inspire you?
Um Spider-Man inspires me because when Aunt May told um told Peter that with great power comes with great responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
meaning that
Absolutely.
I remember Uncle Ben saying that, and I remember the scene where Aunt May told Peter that again. I remember hearing that and internalizing it myself. I can see that. Why does Yoda inspire you?
okay, Yoda inspired me. I would say about his size actually. Size matters not. He's
Mm,
he he may be short statue, but he's actually a strong person within the force.
yeah, I agree. I
I
like
love that.
Yoda as well. One of
Yeah, I
my
love Yoda.
favorite, one of my favorite characters is Optimus Prime, and I have his Funko Pop here, Billy, and it's a robotic character with blue, silver, and a red accent. So he actually turns into a tractor trailer. And the reason why I am inspired by Optimus Prime is because he's a great leader. He might not always get it right all the time, but he owns up to that and he knows how to motivate people, even when the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, kind of in the same vein, another character I'm inspired by is say Bumblebee as well. Remember, Bumblebee
Yes.
didn't really have a voice, and over time it took people being around him to give him a voice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of find a lot of resonance with that as someone who, a lot of people think, oh, you're a born leader, you're always speaking up, and I tell people all the time that it took me time to get to that place. It took me having confidence and having the people around me that supported me and uplifted me to get to that place. And so I love a lot of those characters, what Marvel or Star Wars or Transformer really teaches. And like you said, John, about a lot of power, but also a lot of responsibility, but also having the strength to overcome those challenges and own that responsibility. And that's
Mm.
really beautiful that really teaches that. And that's why I love a lot of those characters in comics as well.
Right.
Um, yeah. So, uh, switching gears a bit here, you're part of our youth advisory team, and we love
Right.
having you been part of it for a while. And so, how did you, you don't mind, how did you get involved with the team, and what has your impression been of the team so far as being a member of it?
Okay. Ever since I was in 10th grade, I was accepted into the group, and due to doing well in school, um, getting good grades, and I love being with the group because I get to socialize people, and I get to know them.
I think that's great. And I think I'd agree. I enjoy getting to know people like you, John, and people like Billy. All of our members because it's like we're a family, essentially, a family,
Right.
even though we're
Yeah.
different ages and in different stages of education and jobs. It's cool because we all can relate to each other to some degree.
Right.
My
Yeah.
question to you is being someone who navigates autism and ADHD, um what are some things that you would like people to know about people who live with ADHD and autism?
Um. Okay. So I would like to know to people who are living with ADHD and autism that um having autism does not or ADHD or other disabilities does not make you unintelligent. You're actually an intelligent person.
Mm,
Things you're and the things that we do in life.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
Yeah, I love what you said there, and I think that there's this. I mean, I'm thankful that I think that things are definitely changing now. As time has progressed, but there's I feel like always been this persistent stereotype that people with any like even people look at me, even as a totally blind person, with progressive hearing loss.
Mhm.
They may think that I have other mental health issues that I don't have because of my total blindness, or people are really impressed by not to toot my own horn, but people are impressed by how smart I am, or how I do this or do that, just simple things. And so I
Mhm.
really love what you said there about being smart and being intelligent and being able to. And I tell people all the time, there are people that I know that have autism that I would say are they're geniuses. They're way smarter than me. Like there's stuff they're able to remember and something, and so um,
And
go ahead.
well, I was going to say, and that's a great point, Billy. And I would even say, when I'm talking to people who don't have disabilities, I try to teach them like having a disability, whether it be, someone who's on the spectrum, whether it's someone with ADHD or hearing loss, vision impairment, like we just navigate and we see the world differently. and not to oversimplify it, but ultimately that's what it is. Like you, John, you see the world almost like a puzzle in that you know how to, you know, if there's something you want to learn, you go after whatever it takes to learn that. So welding, you're going to be doing blacksmith club courses, you know, you figure out video games and you use those as sources of stress relief, but you learn from those things and you internalize all that knowledge. And so if someone never takes the chance to get to know you, they miss out on all that knowledge and experience that you have. Same with Billy. Like, even though he's totally blind and has progressive hearing loss, if they don't take the time to get to know Billy, they'll miss out on the wealth of knowledge he has on public speaking, sports, you know, the Panthers, and any other subject he's internalized. And so I think once we help people realize, oh, we just navigate the world differently, then it becomes less about, oh, what you can't do and more about what you can do.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
All
as
right.
as the Jedi Code says, there is no ignorance. There is intelligence.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
Intelligence. Well, as we close, Billy, do you have any final question, or any final remarks for John?
I know. Is there anything else you'd like to share with everyone?
I would like to share what age did I started playing video games and um what things that I use to repair video games.
Go for it.
Who
Yes.
has influenced me? Okay, ever since I was, let's say, 2 or 3 years old, my first video game, my first video game handheld that I had was a Game Boy Advance. I think it was the SP. And I had Spider-Man 3
Oh,
with
I
it,
remember that game.
and my first video game console was a Nintendo Wii.
Mm,
I remember when those were going crazy.
Right,
yeah.
and as of today, I'm still collecting. So far I collected three, actually, four video game devices. I bought a GameCube in on New Year's Day.
Mm.
Uh, I bought a Game Boy Advance. Actually, my dad threw away the other one. He thought it wasn't working no more, but it was. It just needed to be charging. I paid for that. My third console that I bought this year was a Nintendo Wii. I had the other Wii. I talked to you about my first Wii, but that one actually broke,
Mm.
and I would say, and a few weeks ago, I purchased a Sega Dreamcast,
Wow.
Ooh.
but I did not have a memory card or a game for it, but I have to buy one soon.
Mhm.
And okay, and I repair video games because they should be saved, not thrown away. And the person who influenced me into repairing video games is tinkering.
Mm.
He's He's a YouTuber. He repairs video game consoles. Maybe like antiques, antiques, and he also has another channel called Experiment.
Mm.
Means he makes science. For example, nickel plating. It is used to coat nickel and prevent corrosion from happening.
That sounds awesome.
Wow. I
And
have to check that out.
he's a doctor. Trust him, he's a doctor.
Wow.
Mm.
Sounds like a smart man.
Yeah, I have to check that out.
It's
I
cool
think
that
I
he
have heard.
inspired you.
And I was saying, I think I have heard of the channel called Odd Experiments before. I haven't watched it, but I think it was recommended to me. But yeah, I have to check that out.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank
Should.
you, John, for sharing your part of your story and some of your
Absolutely.
interests. I'm sure it's going to be impactful for whoever, you know, wants to do that type of thing, like welding and then playing video games. I'm sure you're
Yeah.
encouraging parents to let them know that their kids can do anything they put their minds to. On that note, Billy, I'm handing it over to you to close us out.
Well, thank you, Maya. And as Maya was saying, I echo the same sentiments. And also, I really enjoy having these guests. As much as I enjoy Maya and I talking, I enjoy learning from the guests that we have on. I feel like I've learned a lot today from you, John. It's about the gaming community and welding and all the things that you do. You really put me on a lot of information here. So, and I'm sure a lot of people listening and everyone listening will say the same. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening today. This podcast again was brought to you by ECAC or the Exceptional Children's Assistance Center. Please reach out to us. Check out our website if you're a parent who needs help or a young person that needs some assistance uh, in advocacy or uh, IEPs or really anything related to school or just living as a person with a disability. We're all here to help you and assist you. And with that being said, thank you all for joining us today. And remember to uh, be kind and be positive, and we will talk to you next time from all of us here at ECAC.